You know, when India's first Mars orbiter mission, Mangalyaan, reached the Red Planet back in 2014, it was a huge deal globally. But its successor, Mangalyaan-2, this isn't just a sequel. Not at all. It represents a monumental leap in ambition, from just observing Mars to actually touching its alien soil. This is the incredible story of India's plan to land on the Martian surface.
All right, let's just dive right into the details here, because this comparison really shows you the jump in scale. I mean, look at this. The first Mangalyaan mission used the super reliable PSLV rocket and weighed just over 1,300 kilograms. For Mangalyaan-2, they're bringing out the big guns, the LVM-3, to carry a craft that's nearly 3 times heavier. But the real story, the place where things get really wild, is the mission scope. We're moving from just a single orbiter to an entire fleet. An orbiter, a lander, a rover, and yeah, even a helicopter. This is a whole new level.
So to really get why this new mission is such a big deal, we've got to look back at what came first. The original Mangalyaan mission wasn't just a success, it was a history-making breakthrough that really put the world on notice. So, the first Mangalyaan, it didn't just succeed, it absolutely shattered records. It made India the very first Asian nation to get to Mars, and, believe it or not, the first nation in the world to do it on the very first try. The spacecraft was only designed for a 6-month mission, but get this, it outlasted all expectations, operating for nearly 8 years. This one achievement put India's space agency, ISRO, firmly in that elite club of Martian explorers.
But maybe the most mind-blowing part of the whole thing? The cost. The entire mission was done for just $74 million. That's a tiny fraction of what similar missions cost. It was an absolute masterclass in frugal engineering and a powerful statement about the sheer ingenuity of India's space program.
Okay, so with that amazing success in the bag, ISRO is now setting its sights on a far, far greater challenge. Mangalyaan-2, which is also known as the Mars Lander mission, is all about taking that next, much harder step.
And this is the key right here. We're talking about going from just orbiting the planet to actually landing on it. The first mission was a brilliant proof of concept. It showed India could get to Mars. This next one? It's a full-blown scientific expedition designed to get its hands dirty, so to speak, and do research right there on the Martian ground.
And, the stakes here they're incredibly high. If this mission succeeds, India will join a very, very exclusive club of nations that have pulled off a soft landing on Mars. We're talking only the United States, the former Soviet Union, and China. It is, without a doubt, one of the hardest things you can do in space exploration.
Okay, so getting into Mars orbit is tough, but landing on it? That is a whole different ballgame. So let's break down exactly why touching down on the red planet is so notoriously difficult.
So why? What is it about Mars that has caused so many missions to end in failure? Well, the answer is kind of strange, and it all has to do with its atmosphere.
And here is the paradox. The Martian atmosphere is incredibly thin, like about 1% of Earth's. But when you're screaming into it at hypersonic speeds, it's still thick enough to act like a blowtorch, generating enough heat and friction to completely destroy your spacecraft. But at the same time, it's too thin for parachutes to work as well as they do here on Earth, making it extremely hard to slow down for a gentle landing.
So to deal with this, ISRO has this crazy, multi-stage plan. First, you've got the aeroshell, which is basically a giant heat shield that uses the atmosphere itself to slam on the brakes. Then, bam, a supersonic parachute bursts out to slow the craft down even more. And then, for the grand finale, the part that'll have everyone holding their breath, a powered descent system kicks in, using rockets and a sky crane to gently lower the rover onto the surface.
Okay, so that's the how, the terrifying, nail-biting process of landing. But what about the why? What are the actual scientific questions that Mangalyaan-2 is going to try and answer once it's safely on Mars?
Well, it all starts from orbit. The new, much more powerful orbiter is carrying a whole suite of advanced instruments. It's got tools to study interplanetary dust, to get a profile of the atmosphere's layers, to investigate energetic particles from the sun, and to measure the whole plasma environment around Mars. It's really about getting the big picture of how the planet interacts with space.
But the real action, of course, is down on the surface. The lander and rover are basically a mobile geology lab on wheels, designed to analyze the chemistry of the soil and hunt for any signs of water. And this is super cool. For the first time, an Indian mission will take to the Martian skies. The Marple helicopter is designed to fly in that thin air, giving us a bird's-eye view we've never had before, and studying the atmosphere from the inside. You know, a mission this ambitious doesn't just happen on its own. It's actually a huge piece of a much bigger puzzle for India's future in space.
You can see it right here. This Mars landing is a critical stepping stone in an incredible long-term plan. After the Mangalyaan-2 landing, the goal is to establish an Indian space station by 2035, and then, the big one, landing an Indian astronaut on the Moon by 2040. Each mission is a step, building the tech and the experience for the next one.
And this quote from ISRO's chairman really nails the thinking behind all this. The goal isn't just to fly cool missions. It's about building world-class capabilities across the board. The launchers, the satellites, the whole shebang, to establish India as a top-tier global leader in space exploration.
I mean, think about it. To go from a simple orbiter to a full-on landing mission in roughly a decade, that's just an incredible pace. As India gets ready for this landing, the success of Mangalyaan-2 won't be an ending. It'll be the start of a whole new chapter. And it really makes you wonder, right? After they conquer the Martian surface, what's the next great leap going to be?